Hi, my name's Heather Still, author of the Surviving Seventh Grade series. Thank you for checking out my newest book, Kayla's Quest, which will be available April 11th, 2025. The Surviving Seventh Grade series, it, it's an exciting series. I think it's filled with realistic characters that you're going to root for. Sean's survival guide is from Sean's perspective, a boy who loves soccer and gaming and is just trying to get through seventh grade without getting picked on. Kayla's Quest, it's a different protagonist, it's a different character. She's got other plans, other ideas, and everything kind of changes on her. And so she is reinventing herself halfway through the year, trying to figure things out. Please continue listening. I will read the first chapter of Kayla's Quest. And besides these two novels, I have the novella, Surviving Seventh Grade Day 1, where you get to experience the first day of school from both Sean and Kayla's perspective. It's a nice little intro into each book. And new subscribers to my newsletter will have the option of downloading this as an ebook for free as a thank you from me. So once again, thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy the first chapter. Kayla's Quest, Chapter 1, The Best Year Ever. Who looks forward to returning to school after winter break? Me. I couldn't wait to see Sean, see what else he did over the break, and walk hand in hand to class again. Thanks to my perfect boyfriend, seventh grade was already the best grade ever. Starting the new year together meant this year would be even better than the last. I bounded down the sidewalk towards the main entrance to Central Valley Middle School in my comfy jeans and sneakers. My new lavender hoodie might have left me a tad underdressed for the chilly gray January morning, but I had to wear my new hoodie. Tall, swaying palm trees flanked the school's iron gate entrance. The palms soared above the two bright white stucco two-story building. Placed between the white building and the buses, the big electronic sign painted in our purple and black school colors welcomed me back with a cheery reminder that the winter dance was in a few weeks. The school's only semi-formal dance would be epic this year. I breezed through the open gates and into the front courtyard, already scanning the crowded clusters of kids for my group. Sean and his best friend huddled in the usual spot near the math wing. Sean's light, almost blonde hair stuck out on his tall, lean figure because 1, he was one of the tallest seventh graders, and 2, he was one of only a few boys with naturally blonde hair at school. I cruised around the crowded center of the courtyard by staying on the outside track. Hey! I grabbed my boyfriend's jacket and tugged him close to me. My arm snaked around his waist for a hug. Happy New Year! He was quick to escape my hug, but we weren't one of those annoying PDA couples. Happy New Year, Kay. Again. He squelched any potential sting with a bright smile. Our hands met in the open space between us. I grasped his hand with an extra excited squeeze and grinned. How was the rest of your break? Sure, we talked and texted over break, but I only saw him in person once when he biked over to my house a few days after Christmas. Going a week without holding hands was brutal. Was it too soon to picture us 10 years from now, married with 2 kids and a beagle, camping in a little tent by a lake in the mountains? Or maybe we were somewhere on a beach like in Hawaii. My break was great. He shrugged and smiled. I surfed and played a lot of Xbox. And your New Year's Eve? I asked. Fine, lots of Xbox. Inside, I did a little victory dance. He had other options. He could have gone to her party. His best friend added, I crushed him a few times on Mario Kart 3 Extreme. And I crushed you the other 10 times, Sean said in return, doing their normal boy banter thing, making me glad I rang in the new year with my besties at a sleepover. As if on cue, Thea rushed over to us, the new beads from the ends of her braids clicking in a frantic rhythm. Kayla! Her smile threatened to burst open her face. I did it! I won first chair. I squealed. She squealed. We both squealed, loud and joyous. My bestie was victorious yet again. Of course you did. It was never in doubt. My smile rivaled hers. I knew you would do it. I'm so proud of you. Whatever Thea wanted, Thea got. Not by asking for it like a spoiled rich kid, which our school had plenty, but by working her butt off to achieve it. She was my real-life hero. If fan clubs were a thing for kids our age, I would be the president of hers. As it was, I operated as her biggest cheerleader, and I had big plans for her this fabulous new year. Yeah, congratulations, Thea, Sean said. You deserve it. I had big plans for Sean, too. I could be the biggest cheerleader for both of them and my other bestie, Aditi, too. Are you and your family going out to celebrate? I asked Thea. Maybe. She shrugged, but her smile revealed the pride and excitement she tried to downplay. I couldn't wait to talk more about it at lunch with our friends. Since Sean's soccer team earned a break over the holidays, we would have more time to talk about Thea's triumph. The warning bell thundered from the speakers overhead. We all split up to go to our classes. Sean walked me to my first period building, like he always did, and I enjoyed the last couple minutes of holding his hand, a simple touch I missed so much over the last 2 weeks. As we passed the first building, a group of girls saying goodbye like they were going away for a month, with flailing arms and dramatic wails, stumbled into our path. I plowed right into one of them. Oh, she started as she whipped her long ponytail to the side to face me. Her apologetic smile turned off as if someone hit the light switch. I could only stare, totally unprepared for a face-off with my former friend. Red lipstick emphasized Marissa's mouth as it dropped open. She looked about, ready to say something, but her friend yanked her out of my way, and they disappeared behind the flow of kids heading to class. Sean squeezed my hand. I smiled up at him. So sweet. You two used to be friends, right? Yeah, but you know how that goes. I glanced behind us, but Marissa was long gone. Friends come and go in 7th grade. But Marissa's mutiny still stung. She left our group on the first day of 7th grade over 5 months ago, but the memory of her betrayal burned like the wood left smoldering from a campfire. Sean and I stopped near the stairs to my classroom, letting classmates flow by us. We shared a quick peck on the lips. Then he waved, executed a sharp pivot in his soccer-style Adidas sneakers, and strode toward the main part of school. As I watched him go, Courtney Crenshaw and her minions stalked towards him with matching, determined sneers. They might have thought counted as smiles. As always, Courtney dressed to impress, wearing skin-tight jeans, knee-high leather boots, and an expensive-looking cream sweater. Courtney's tinkling fingers did their flirty wave, which never failed to hook Sean. When the uber-popular, extra-venomous Courtney took time to interact with my boyfriend, he acted a little too willing to do whatever she wanted. He waved, but for once, he didn't even pause in his stride. He kept walking. Another win, and school hadn't even started yet. Seconds after I slid into the hard plastic chair of my desk, my teacher greeted the class. Welcome back, class. I hope after the long break you're all well rested. Before the snickering and snorting got too loud, my English teacher continued, Let's do a quick highlight share. What's one thing you want to share with the class about your break? The girl who sat next to me twisted around to face me and sighed dramatically. It's that time again. What'd you do, Kayla? She didn't act all that jazzed about her teacher's back from break ritual, but my only hang-up was choosing just one highlight to share. The annual dad and daughter bake-off that made our entire house smell like a Christmas bakery couldn't compete with Sean's surprise visit or the epic New Year's Eve sleepover with my besties. Both were amazing. How was I supposed to choose between them? But when a third kid shared about a sleepover, it was clear what my share needed to be. I tried to figure out the best way to explain it in as few words as possible because Mrs. Ella valued being quick and concise above all else. Too soon, the boy next to me shared, I played Fortnite for 24 hours straight. The kids around us laughed. Quick, just be quick. I took a quick breath, then shared in a loud, caring voice. My boyfriend Sean rode his bike to my house and gave me the cutest surfing Santa snow globe. Miss Ela's eyebrows rose in her skeptical look she usually reserved for the annoying boys in front. I replayed my words, but nothing I said was offensive or inappropriate. Miss Ella disliked inappropriate words, behavior, and topics more than she disliked rambling on aimlessly. Finally, she moved on from me and allowed the next student to share. After all 32 students shared, we spent 20 minutes journaling about our highlight. Even in my head, the hard work at being precise for Miss Ella was real. I replayed Sean's visit in my head, mentally organizing the main points before I started writing. Sean biked all the way from his house to see me on a sunny but chilly day, 3 days after Christmas. We hung out in the family room watching Netflix while he showed me pictures on his phone from his trip to Hawaii. Miss Ella likes lots of precise details, so I added that the smiley yellow La Upala yellow tang fish were my favorite. Then I added some dialogue to make it real narrative. "Oh," Sean said, abruptly sitting up and pocketing his phone. "I almost forgot." He grabbed his backpack from the floor and fished out a white gift bag with 3 triangle Christmas trees. "Here, a belated Merry Christmas. Or an early happy birthday gift." "You got me a gift?" "The sweetest boyfriend ever." I pulled out the bright green, crunchy tissue paper. Detangling the heavy object from its wrapping, I giggled at the sight. A snow globe. "Not just any snow globe," Sean said with his too cute grin. "A Hawaiian surfing Santa snow globe." "It's so cute." I shook it a bunch to watch the snow flurry swirl around the Santa in his red and white board shorts. Santa looked like an expert surfer flashing a hang loose sign with his jolly grin. "I've always wanted a snow globe," I gushed. "I just never knew how cool it would be to have Santa surfing in it." My grin was so big it could power a city. "Right?" Sean gave me his extra sweet smile. "I saw it and knew you needed it." I I paused to flex the kinks out of my fingers. The fact Sean and I were still together after almost 3 months amazed me. Not too many couples at our school lasted that long. We were solid, even with Courtney Crenshaw trying to get in the way. But just thinking of Courtney reminded me of another conversation Sean and I had during his visit. My smile vanished only a few words into writing about it. While watching Netflix, Sean asked, "Are you still going to Thea's sleepover for New Year's Eve?" "Of course." At the time, I had smiled at the idea of spending the night with my besties, but also because I loved his cute smile. He nodded. "Okay, just making sure." But his intense look triggered an internal alarm. "Why? Aren't you and Jeff and the guys doing some Xbox marathon?" "It's more of a tournament, but yes, that's what I'm doing." His hesitant tone made me suspicious. "You aren't going to Courtney's New Year's Eve party, are you?" "No." He cleared his throat, a flush creeping up his neck. He wouldn't meet my gaze. "Probably not, I mean." My eyes narrowed. This again. Whenever things were too good to be true, Courtney ruined it without even being there. And it's more like a get-together than a party. It's still at Courtney's, which should be a crime, with her friends, who were guilty of tons of social crimes at school. Just mentioning Courtney's name turned my perfect day stormy. I wished I believed him when he said he liked me more than her. I really, really wanted to believe him. But every time I was almost there, he would say something or do something or look at her in that way of his, and doubt would win. Courtney was pretty and disgustingly popular, and worst of all, he worshipped her. How could I compete? I grasped my pencil tight and dragged the tip across the last few lines. And then the next few lines, too. Miss Ella didn't want to read about my stupid conversation with Sean about Courtney. I instead traced an arrow from my comment about spending New Year's Eve with my besties, past half a page of crossed out words, and then scrawled out an ending. Right after Sean left, I searched for a good home for the gift, deciding on the bookshelf next to my Lego Wonder Woman and invisible jet I built last Christmas. Perfect. By lunchtime, it was obvious only super nerds like my besties were glad to be back at school. Still, I made the most out of lunch with all my friends, Sean and his friends. Britt, a devout gossip follower and fan of school drama, talked almost non-stop during lunch, filling us all in on all the details I didn't want to know, including updating us on Courtney's big New Year's Eve party. I heard only the most popular kids were there, and that she had really fancy food like chocolate fountains and stuff. Can you imagine? Next to me, Sean continued eating his sandwich. He glanced at me, gave a little shrug, smiled, but didn't say anything. But I had to say something. The pepperoni pizza at Thea's was so much better than a food fountain at Courtney's. Thea giggled. Who even wants to eat food flowing from one container to another? Exactly. I beamed at my best friend while Dee Dee giggled in agreement. But don't you guys wonder who was there? Britt asked, staring right at me. I stared right back, silently telling her to drop it. She knew Courtney had invited Sean. They all knew. But I didn't want Sean to know I told them. I needed to change the topic pronto. Britt, did you hear Thea won first chair? Yeah. Britt rolled her eyes. You've told me already. And Aditi aced a million tests, and Sean scored 3 goals. All old news. Britt leaned forward again, a sly smile forming. I wonder if Chris Thompson was at the party. Oh, no, she didn't. How could Britt ask about Aditi's secret crush in front of Sean and his friends? Yes, the guys were part of our group, but that didn't mean they knew all our secrets. My eyes ping-ponged between Britt's twinkling eyes and Aditi's reddening face. But Aditi's mouth remained arrow straight, her eyes as somber as if she was talking about an important test. I don't care who was at the party. The last thing any of us wanted was to tease Aditi about her ridiculous crush in front of the guys. Where she was a straight-A student, Chris prided himself on C's as if his only goal in life was to earn all C's. Aditi wore ultra-conservative clothes like khaki pants and button-up shirts with collars or polo shirts with collars, while Chris wore ripped jeans, chains, expensive-looking Air Jordans, and he even had an earring. Chris was all suave and sharp edges, sleek and powerful like a wolf. He would rip right into Aditi's bunny soft and sweet self. Britt tucked some hair behind one ear as she leaned forward again, her eyes still dancing with mischief. This time, I didn't hesitate to take over. The guys did their marathon Xbox thing, and we were at the best New Year's Eve party ever. Now, this Friday, after Thea's violin practice and Dee Dee's math tutoring and Sean's soccer practice, what are we going to do?
Thank you for joining us. Feel free to subscribe, like us, rate us. Look forward to seeing you next time.